Okay, y'all, making this video is pretty devastating, but here are my thoughts on Charlie Kirk's death. This was not a nobody. He had just under 4 million subscribers on his main YouTube channel. He had 3.3 million subscribers on his YouTube channel for Turning Point USA because his name is synonymous with that. And even though the right and the libertarians don't really have too many people who are accepted mainstream and get like media coverage, he was one of the few people that was the exception to that. Like when you look at all the YouTube shadow banning bullshit, like yes, his videos were getting like 5 or 6 figure view counts, but there's not too many people who go on YouTube and can actually manage that. Like the right does not have too many people like him that can actually sustain that. Many channels are shadow banned, and his was one of the few that doesn't seem like it had the carpet pulled from under it all the time. And here's what's really scary about it. I'm someone who's more in the libertarian camp, so a lot of my ideas are just very anti-government, and he was kind of like more of the mainstream kind of conservative, right? Well, I didn't watch any of his videos. I did get wind of them on Instagram sometimes, just like short little clips of like him going back and forth with leftists and, you know, butting heads with them on their topics and trying to tear apart their arguments, right? Like when we think about people like Charlie Kirk, when we have people, I'm going to do this backwards so that it makes sense for you guys. We have people who are on the far left, the left, I guess you could kind of say centrist, even though it kind of means leftist today for me. Then you have the right, and then you have like the kind of like libertarians, and the people who are just very anti-government, right? Like I told you in previous videos, many of these are just based on the power that the government's going to have, right? Like Charlie Kirk is kind of like over here, right? Like he's not really a libertarian, not really on this side of like no government power. He just wants it reduced, right? And to be fair, most of us kind of are in this camp. And while conservatives and libertarians are not the same thing, they generally advocate for the less government kind of argument, right? And that's what Charlie Kirk would do. So like on that scale though, he's not like an extreme person, kind of like where, you know, I tend to be a little more extreme, right? And just because I'm in the libertarian camp, so you could say, right? I just believe in minimizing the government as much as possible. Like, even though I didn't know Charlie Kirk and most of his work, I just assumed that he was kind of like in the Crowder camp of like, you know, maybe not like libertarian, but gonna be somewhere over here, right? The main point is that all of us over here in this kind of right side of the camp just agree that we should at least the best thing we can do is reduce the amount of government. The question becomes how much when we get over here, but that's not a problem to worry about until we get over here and we're reducing the government. The point is for someone like him, who's like very far from like extremist, as the left would love to say, and someone that goes back and forth and exchanges dialogue with people in person, to be assassinated is fucking terrifying to everybody. And even though we all shouldn't be afraid, it's still terrifying because that could have been you or me. Like Charlie Kirk is not an extreme person. He's a normal person. He was not advocating for anything like outrageous, right? He was just a normal conservative. Like he didn't have anything about him that was like uniquely crazy, right? That normal person got fucking assassinated. So what does that mean for people like me and you, who maybe will get some sort of following in the future, right? What kind of precedent does this set? It's okay to kill other people when I don't agree with them. And yes, I realize this is not the whole left being represented by that. But the philosophy of holding a gun and aiming it at someone from that far away on top of a building, if that video was right, and it was actually that person, you never know what to believe on the internet, right? I disagree with you, so therefore I'm gonna hire someone to snipe you, so you better shut the fuck up and get in line. Like, yeah, that's pretty fucking scary. He was 31. He was 3 years older than me. If you told me I have 3 years left to live my life, I'd be fucking terrified. Because there's so many things I want to do in life, and so many different experiences I want to have still, and that would get cut short by a ceiling. Like, the best thing about the United States is we have the freedom of speech, right? We're allowed to say whatever we want, no matter how stupid it is, and the use of force cannot be put on you. You can't be put in jail. In reality, it's a little different, right? But you're not supposed to be able to be put in jail. You're not supposed to be shot for having a different opinion, contrary to what the government may want. And that's what's made our culture so successful in the past. We're allowed to debate with each other and even have ridiculous ideas. And the societal understanding was you do not use violence. You debate it out. You have conversations, just like Charlie Kirk was doing. Charlie Kirk was someone who was going out of his way to go talk to leftists and people who don't agree with him. And he tried to at least disarm their arguments. For someone who's normal and at least wants to extend the olive branch to the other side, for someone like that to be assassinated, that's absolutely devastating to the morale of the country. The girl was killed on the bus by, yes, I think a total psych ward patient. Like, he was schizophrenic and completely unstable from what I know. But this was assassination. Like, what is the normal person supposed to take away from this? Like, these two events feel like we can't sit in the bus and feel safe anymore. Like, we have to constantly watch our ass, which you should be doing anyway. But like now it's like really serious because yeah, you could be killed. It could happen to you. And also, if you try to have a following and you have too many followers and you're too popular, even though the deck is stacked against you on YouTube and culture, whether it be music, movies or TV shows or whatever, the common culture is heavily pandering to the left still, even though it has gone back to the right slightly. If you gain too much of a following and you're too popular, we will kill you because you are too much of a threat to our ideology of total government control. Like, I'm a person who does book reviews. I have a small YouTube channel. I enjoy making book reviews, and I like commenting on society and just sharing the trains of thought that these books will present. Like, this is not an extreme action. Of course, in 2025, it would be extremist, right? But that's how far the goalposts have shifted in today's day and age. Anyway, this is just absolutely devastating for us. The morale of the country, even though I'm not actually in the country right now, feels devastated. I mean, when I did that Civil War video, there were the two figures that were pretty big, but really, like, John Brown was the one that got a lot of attention. There was also the caning of Charles Sumner. Like, he died like in the middle of the Congress, right? Like, this was a very public event, right? This kind of feels like that kind of, while it may not be as like similar, like apples to apples, this kind of feels like a societally changing event, you know? Like, one of the main people that we can kind of get behind at the right, who has some sort of mainstream recognition, has been assassinated. The message it sends to people like you and me who are normal is disgusting. It makes my stomach turn. Like, Charlie Kirk and his lineage, right? He went through like 200,000 years of human evolution, right? And how does his lineage end? Even though he had 2 children, like, he died to an assassination. All that struggle through like the caveman days, and this is where it came out to assassination, right? Like, it's just, on the grand scale of things, taking away life like that, it can be done so quickly. And everything that he like fought and struggled for was just like taken away instantly, right? Now he has a widow and like 2 kids, which is just like, what would you think your dad? Oh yeah, my dad got assassinated for trying to do the right thing and trying to extend olive branches to the other side. Like, that's totally heart-wrenching. And again, my stomach's turned. Like, I'll be able to eat later probably, but like, I lost my appetite. The last parting comment I want to make is that there are people on social media who are actually reposting this, like, that like verbally support Charlie Kirk's death. These are the same types of people who don't realize like the gun, when you point it at someone else, can also be pointed back at you. And this is why the whole Second Amendment is so interesting, because even though everyone is allowed to carry a gun, in reality, who's actually walking around with a gun aiming it at people, right? Absolutely no one, because the second you see it being aimed at you, you're either gonna run or aim back at them, right? And plus, that's just a one-on-one, right? If you're in public and you're like walking around waving a gun, like, other people are gonna get a gun and aim it at you. So when people are all happy, right, that Charlie Kirk got assassinated, like, yes, we got rid of one of the flagship people out of the conservative movement, right? Like, yes, you killed him, but you pointed a gun at someone because you disagree with their argument. What happens when someone disagrees with your argument or whatever you want to say? Do you expect the gun to not be aimed back at you in the same manner you just did at him? I mean, there's the saying, right? You live by the sword and die by the sword. I don't know, I'm seeing a lot of deranged takes on Instagram and Twitter, but you know, it's unfortunately an element that still exists in society. Anyway, thanks for sticking with me through this. Put what you think this means for society in the comments. I'm definitely interested in hearing.